Good afternoon, everyone. It's Kirsten here for a Thursday Spa Business Break. Welcome back if you've been here before, and if you are new to me, welcome. If you are new to me and haven't seen any of my videos before, it's all about your spa business, whether you are a solo or a team. And in particular, the past 5 months, it's been talking a lot about how to manage, how to run, how to support yourself, how to support your team while running a spa during COVID, during a pandemic. So today I want to talk about, my topic is about how to make overwhelming and scary pivots in your business, because the whole point about being an entrepreneur is that we will have to course correct. We will have to make adjustments in our business. You know, for the most part, sometimes they're small and we can handle them. But in times like this, where many of you are still out of work, or maybe you're back to work, but you're on very, very limited services that you can do. We're in, like they say, unprecedented times, but it's nothing new in terms of entrepreneurship or even spa entrepreneurship for that matter, in terms of having to make big moves in business. At some point in your entrepreneurial life, you will have to make or be asked to make some big changes and big decisions in your business. And especially if you're on your own, if you're a solo, even if you have a team, if you don't have a lot of support, whether that's a partner in your life to support you, or you don't have a coach or a mentor to support you, when you come up to these places that require, that are asking you to make big changes in your business, it can feel way, way, way overwhelming and way too scary. And when that happens, we all know, whether it's in our business or our personal life, when that happens, we usually put up the walls and don't do them, right? Even if that change in your business, that big pivot, I think that's going to be the word of the year for businesses this year, even if that pivot is the right thing to do in your business. So what do we do? Today's conversation is not so much like, I'm going to give you some tactical, practical pieces here, but a big piece of this is just understanding that it's completely normal when you're faced with big problems in your business. So, some examples of that, and it's not just about COVID, some of the big problems that you could have in your spa business is, just kind of your lack of marketing knowledge, know-how, and so all of your marketing, whether it's your email or your social media or even just your digital presence on your website, is just kind of meh and not giving you the lead generation for new clients that you're needing. Maybe another big issue that's going on right now is that you have a team and you are still in the treatment room. If you don't already feel that pinch in terms of serving your client in the treatment room, as well as having to train a team, coach a team, recruiting and hiring, all the admin aspects of it, the planning, the big picture planning, the minutia of the day. If you are still in the treatment room, you know that you are feeling overwhelmed and it's too much, unless you've outsourced a lot of that. But getting out of the treatment room, like all of these pieces, keep in mind, whatever is going on for you, whatever big issue that is going on for you, that's giving you tension and stressing you out and causing problems. If there's a way to move into something new, that new thing is just really out of your comfort zone. So that is what the issue is. You're comfortable over here, even if it's not working for you, and there's something new over here that you don't know if it's going to work for you. But it actually is a solution, but it's totally out of your comfort zone because maybe you don't know the steps to get from here to there. Maybe you can't visualize what that actually looks like over in this new place. Maybe you're worried about the people in your life, whether it's kind of in your personal life or the people on your team, about what their reactions are going to be to this new place over here. How am I going to describe it to them when I don't really quite understand it myself? Or how do I take these steps if I don't know kind of right now kind of step 50. How am I going to get there? It feels really big, really overwhelming, really scary, and then we don't do it. There's two big places in the spa industry that I see this happening right now. I've been watching it for a couple of years, and yet now it's been presented to us in the spa industry is like, you guys have not, you guys are late adopters. You've been slow to do this. Now is the time. And you're still feeling like, no, I don't know how. I'm scared. It's too much. I won't do it. And what I'm talking about is e-commerce and having virtual service options for your clients. So what is the state of the industry right now, the spa industry, when it comes to e-commerce and virtual services? Let's talk about e-commerce first, because that's probably the most obvious place. We in the spa industry, we're full of estheticians and service providers that love to be caring for people. We love making people feel good about themselves. We love providing a safe and healing space for them to relax and to be themselves and to be vulnerable. We love all of that stuff. We love the connection that we feel with our clients, whether we're a solo or we have a team. What we don't so much love is that aspect of the business, numbers, selling. So those aspects of our spa business have never really been, we've been told our whole career, we need to sell products, we need to sell upgrades, we need to sell packages. We've been told these things, but they haven't really landed within our industry in terms of, this is how it is, this is how it has to be in terms of having a scalable business, a business that provides for you and your family, and it provides for your team and their families. The world changes, and we absolutely need to be changing with it. And part of the problem with being human is we typically don't like change, and we will do anything we can to resist change. But today's conversation is about how do you make overwhelming and scary pivots in this industry, even when you are feeling scared. So even though we have been slow to adopt technology in this industry, there's still some of you out there that are doing paper bookings, right? And I laugh, and not to make fun of you, but it's just to point out how far behind our industry is in a lot of ways. We've been very slow to adopt e-commerce because we love being in the treatment room, and we've up until now have been able to get away with being in the treatment room and having the opportunity to have that one-on-one connection and to be able to share our knowledge and share our recommendations for home care and future treatments. But we're in a time, and it's not going to go away anytime soon, as far as a pandemic goes, we are in a time in this industry where we're having a huge shakeup. Huge. Many states like California is still shut for skin services. Washington, I believe, just got rolled back. Hawaii just got rolled back today. I believe skin services aren't allowed in Chicago, New York, parts of New York State. So there's still a significant amount of spa businesses that you guys are kneecapped. And then, we're looking at just the insanity of, natural disasters. There is a hurricane going through the southern states right now. And as far as that hurricane goes, they're talking about 20-foot surges. So we have a huge amount of people affected even just through natural disasters this way, that won't have a brick and mortar business to go back to. So this means that we as an industry really need to wrap ourselves up in some compassion and understanding that, we have not loved, diving into e-commerce and looking at virtual technology, but we're being forced into it. And if we can at least take a breath and just, accept that this is where we are, or you are at with your business, and you need to make some pivots, and they're kind of scary and you don't want to do them. But if you want to stay in business, you have to do them. Then how do you move forward when when really you're wrapped up in a whole lot of fear and overwhelm? Well, here's the thing. And it's actually quite simple, but we often forget about it. And you can use this for your personal life as well as your business. When you are feeling overwhelmed and afraid of something like a new business pivot, say it's starting a new e-commerce and you're like, oh my God, I don't know anything about technology and this feels too big. We need to pair factual data with our emotional data. Okay. For those of you that saw me speak at the Long Beach conference last fall in September, as well as in Miami, you'll remember that I was talking about this. In terms of spa management, when things are feeling overwhelmed and kind of crazy, we cannot just go with our own emotional data. What we think or what we feel is happening in the business. It's valid data. That's totally great. I mean, we need to listen to our intuition, but sometimes our fear overrides intuition and we can't tell what is the difference between fear and what's real, okay? And so what I mean by pairing factual data with emotional data is that factual data is the facts. So doing some research on e-commerce and what it actually entails. So if you're technologically challenged, you're an entrepreneur. You know how to solve problems. You know how to solve problems for your clients. You know how to solve problems for yourself. This is just another little problem. We can talk through it logically to find some solutions. So that's why we need to look at that factual data. So if you know you need to set up an e-commerce site, start researching what platforms are out there. What's the easiest platform? What's the simplest platform to use? What platform is easy and simple and has really good support? Whether it's from that particular company or maybe there's tons of groups all over the place for platforms where peers are coming in and really just helping other people in the group. So I know that you are a smart cookie and that you are resilient and you know how to figure out problems. So if you know you need to develop an e-commerce site, start with your research, okay? Start asking questions in groups. How did you start your e-commerce site? Did somebody do it for you? Did you work with somebody? Just start asking questions and start developing out a little plan so that you've got factual data that can kind of calm the emotional data of, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this, blah, 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 right? I would also like to remind you about the FEAR acronym. You've probably heard this before. It's been around for a long time. But when you are feeling afraid of making a big pivot, big or small, if it triggers fear, remember, fear can stand for false evidence appearing real. Our subconscious mind, I'm not going to get into the whole thing about the subconscious mind, but our subconscious mind kicks up that fear for a reason. It's trying to protect us from getting into anything that we might get in too deep. But the problem is that the subconscious mind also is part of the ego and will sometimes tell you can't do things when actually you can, right? So we just want to remember, if we're freaking out about something, a change that needs to happen in our business, pair the emotional data with the factual data. All right. Now, the other thing that you're going to need on a fairly regular basis when you're developing something new, like an e-commerce site or adding virtual skin services to your website, to your menu, is that you're still going to be triggered by fear as you go along. So what's the antidote at that point? Go back to your why. Why are you in business? Why are you serving clients via skincare? Why do you have a spa? What was the whole point of this at the very, very beginning? It's really easy for a lot of us who've been in business for a really long time to kind of lose sight of that. So that is why, when we're starting a business, it's so important to develop why we do what we do and be very clear about it. And it's also equally as important to be very clear on your values, because that's part of why you do what you do. That will be the balm on your fear when it gets triggered again. It will help you feel brave. It will help you to kind of talk yourself down off a ledge and think, well, while I don't have, while I don't know step 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50, I can figure out steps 1 to 5 right now. That's all you need, because once you get to step 5, you can probably figure out steps 6 to 10. And when you get to 10, you can probably figure out steps 11 to 15. So it's just little steps this way. So I totally get that adding new things to your business, doing big pivots, making big changes is super, super scary. But I really feel strongly that the spa industry is being asked to step up in a really big way in terms of e-commerce. We have so much opportunity here that is untapped. So much opportunity. We have, you guys have so much more knowledge than a customer service rep on Sephora or any other kind of skincare line out there, or any product line for that matter. You have a huge amount of training background. If you've been doing this for a long time, you're consistently keeping up your education. You are a plethora of knowledge. And so what I also want to give you today to help you shore up that fear, support that fear, factual data, bravery, remembering your why, and then, really just kind of plugging away at it and knowing that you don't have to have it all figured out right at the beginning. It's all figure outable. I totally love that phrase. It's all figure outable. All right. So where are you at? What is are you being called to pivot in your business? What is the pivot? Maybe you're actually being called to go into a completely different niche. Maybe you are being called to dial back your time and energy. And maybe that, if you're being called to dial back your time in the treatment room, or even dial back your time in your business, how are you going to still earn? You need that creative, you need the headspace that's not in angst to be able to think about what that looks like, what that could possibly look like for you. Hey, Megan. Hey, Shannon, you needed a pep talk today? Yeah. Sometimes these pep talks are for me too. And while I feel pretty good these days about the direction of my business, where it's going, and if you've, kind of paid attention to what I've been talking about the past month, I'm starting to put together all of my resources for coaching. I'm starting to put them into actual digital products and put them on a platform that allows me to work smarter and not harder in a lot of ways. So I totally get it. I've been there. I'm no different than you guys. And so I wanted to share this with you today, because so many of you are feeling like you're on this precipice of I need to make this change. It's but it feels too big and it feels too scary. And yeah, I'll just stick with what I'm doing, even though it's not working. So I am here to cheer you on. I am here to remind you that just because you are feeling fearful doesn't mean it's the wrong decision to make to do this pivot. It's just part of the human psyche and having to learn about ourselves. Your business will be the best life coach you ever have. And this is exactly the kind of situation that highlights that point. Hey, Lanny, nice to see you here. So great to see everybody here. I'm rooting for you guys. If you have any questions, if you want to share what your possible pivot is, or what you're planning to pivot, and if you feel brave enough to share, what are you afraid of? Because I can almost guarantee you it's that false evidence appearing real. The fear is not real. It's really kind of makes me feel a lot lighter when I remember that. There's a spaciousness to it. What I've got thinking in my head, what's rolling and over again, is it even real? My husband loves it when I come up with that stuff. He's like, yes, it is real. No, it's not. All right. Megan, apparently you're remodeling your spot again. Yeah. Apparently it needed a different vibe, or apparently it needed more attention. Oh my gosh. You have had, some of you, I've been watching you, and it's just like, oh my God, like how much crazier does life have to get? And one thing that COVID has, I feel like one of big COVID's lessons is that there's no such thing as certainty. There never was, but COVID has just kind of smacked it right in our face. And it means that we have to be fluid and be willing and able to kind of move with what needs to be moved. And unfortunately for you, Megan, that means a car through your front door window in your business. So good luck with everything and getting that together. But, you know, I also witnessed how many people just, you know, when I was reading, Megan, your post, just how many people came together and really helped you with that. And I know that really warms your heart. And I know that for all of you that have had big stuff go on, and the personal and professional support that's come through that, you know, those are lessons. Those are beautiful, beautiful gifts to remind us that in the midst of chaos, there's still beauty, there's still love, there's still compassion for each other. And life is life. It gets kind of crazy sometimes, but we have each other. So I got your backs, and I know you got mine. So boom, let's do a fist bump and let's do this together. All right, we'll see you next Thursday's Spot Business Break. Bye, everyone.